Larry, across the area. No new reports coming in, at least as of yet. How's the camera look? Do you?
Well, unfortunately, the camera is obscured by this low deck of clouds. And once again, quite often what we see in our area, if we can go back to the second radar, quite often what we see in our area, in particular across the Carolinas, anytime that you have a tornado, they're all quite often rain wrapped, and you actually can't see the funnel, but certainly everything is there. We'll kind of zoom in and show what we're talking about. Chris is talking about some of those areas that will be impacted. Definitely the Berry Hill community. You folks that live in Belmont, especially west side of town, around Belmont and that area, over towards Berry Hill, and that does include over areas just around Mount Holly. Eventually, we're going to put a track on this and show exactly what is taking place. Moving about 15 to 20 miles per hour and moving off to the northwest. And we're talking about some of the impact areas. South Belmont about 1019. The town of Belmont itself about 1020. If you live in Cramerton, around 1022, and the town of McAdenville around 1025. Also, we have so many busy highways. Highway 74, Interstate 85, all could be impacted by this, by the amount of rain that we're getting. Once again, and this is rain wrapped, we got the high winds, and it's also a severe thunderstorm, which in itself is another issue, Chris.
And now Sam Wilson Road, it looks like it's picking up speed a little bit too. The initial report is about 15 miles per hour. I'm clocking this probably about 20 miles per hour, this moving off towards the north. So we're going to give another reading here as it's developing. But yeah, this isn't really showing signs of weakening. I'm not saying that absolutely a tornado is on the ground here, but usually whenever you have this type of signature, actually, all right, we have a camera going in and out, but we're trying to get Sam Wilson to exactly see what's going on. That makes sense that camera is also fading out. We're trying to show what was going on around Dallas. I do have this camera looking up here. All right, here it is. Okay, so we're overlooking Sam Wilson Road. This is one of our cameras close to I-85, and you can see the camera shaking a little bit. So where we are and to perspective of where this is, let me measure how far away we are from this. This would probably be about 2 miles north of where we're seeing the tightest rotation, right around Berry Hill. With the camera already shaking a little bit, you already can see how volatile the atmosphere is. Tremendous amount of rain, and this is also the big warning that I have with this. If this is an active tornado, a funnel cloud, it's going to be really tough for us to see. The reason why is because it would be rain wrapped. Just look at those visibilities that we currently have with this current situation. Again, tornado warning goes until 10:15, and it could be expanded just the way how impressive this radar and this velocity scope is looking.
Like you're saying, Chris, rain wrapped, and it doesn't mean that we're even without a tornado, this is a severe thunderstorm, and that means high winds. It means torrential rain, and that's a big issue right now for anyone who has travel plans, maybe up 485, Interstate 85, Highway 74. If you're somewhere right now, stay at home. Let this event take place. Give us another maybe 15 to 25 minutes, because at the moment, driving is dangerous. It is a situation with a tornado warning. I know you have plans. A lot of people headed to the airport. I know that definitely has been impacted, the amount of traffic through there. But as we saw that camera that we were showing just a minute ago, you can see the intense rain, which is another major issue that we're dealing with, Chris.
All right, so since this has picked up the pace a little bit, I want everyone within this zone, get to your safe place. Berry Hill, it's already directly over you. Belmont, you're next in line. That's going to be the most populated area. So if you live south of Belmont, southeast especially, you should already be in your safe place, because this is holding together. Mount Holly, 1023. Be prepared, as this storm, it looks like it could be rolling right overhead, or at least just off towards the west of you, because this before was saying off towards the northeast, but for the most recent runs, it does look like it's starting to turn a little bit more northeast comparatively. So what else we have? Also Spencer Mountain. We could see that arrive here in the next 25 minutes as well. So taking another closer look at this, yeah, still looking pretty solid as far as any rotation goes. Yeah, Berry Hill, so Vineyards Place looks to be directly over you. Since this is now turning a little bit more further off towards the north, we mentioned Sam Wilson. We're going to keep that other camera that we had active, where we could actually see this cross I-85 the way things are looking. Also Wilkinson Boulevard, anyone from Sam Wilson to Old Dow, Wilkinson Boulevard, Moore's Chapel Loop, you're going to see it move directly over you. So instead of moving off off towards the northwest, towards Belmont. I would really say anyone, if you live directly west of 485, you're going to be in direct line for the strongest impacts of this storm. You can see it right in here, and here I'll bring up a pointer tool so you can see a little bit better. We'll actually circulate it right in here, and that's the general rotation that it's seeing. It is moving directly off towards the northeast at about 20 miles per hour per the most recent update, and not really seeing any impacts like big notching that we typically will see from like a supercell. A lot of these embedded with some of the rotation that we're seeing. So even though you have the tornado warning goes all the way to the west of Gastonia, I'm really focusing a little bit more on the eastern side of this tornado warning. So really anywhere between Berry Hill and Mount Holly, that's where I'm seeing the biggest cause of concern. Most recent run that we're seeing here, yeah, this thing, as far as the rotation, is directly over Old Dowd Road. Now, I will say the colors are a little bit more dull. That's good news. Whenever you see the brightness next to one each other, that's showing absolutely definitively we have a tornado likely happening. But I still think you have a really solid rotating cloud. It's getting a little bit closer to that camera that we have. If we can bring up the other one that's around I-85 over to Sam Wilson Road, I think we're going to get a pretty good look at what exactly is happening ahead of this storm. Yeah, you can see that camera shaking a little bit more. That really shows that the stronger upper level winds are getting a little bit closer to this system. We'll stay here. So officially from where we're looking now, and that's my concern, if this does cross over, it could cross I-85. Looks like the center of circulation is now 1.5 miles away from this area where you're looking. Look at how many cars are on the road. So if you're watching this west of 485, south of I-85, right in that little area, Old Dowd, Sam Wilson Road, you're directly in line for the worst conditions with this. We have our tornado warning going on for another 7 minutes or so, but it's right in this zone. Again, let's say some other points of interest that this could be affecting. Old Dowd Road, as we mentioned, John Gladden Road, all the way up to I-85, and then Moore's Chapel Road is another one to mention, Larry.
Okay, let's go back to the other computer. Sure, the bigger radar picture. This is this covers the entire area. So you saw the view from one of our cameras, one of our highway cameras out there. But there's a lot of heavy rain. This is a rain-wrapped possible tornado. We had that warning issued. So we're talking about areas crossing Interstate 85, headed over towards areas from Old Dowd, right over towards Ridge Street to Interstate 85, right into areas just south of Mount Holly, in those areas, and that would also be the east side of Belmont. Take cover now, because this is a tornado warning. Go to the lowest level of your home. If you have a basement, go there. Please stay away from windows, and if you have travel plans, hold off on those, because not only the amount of rain, but the amount of rain we're getting, but the gusty winds we're getting with this tornado. This is you know, the lower end scale of a tornado, but you can still have winds well over 80, 85 miles per hour. We've been trying to use our tower cam, but it's so covered in clouds, a low deck of clouds out there, that it's almost impossible to get a true representation. But it's indicative of what happens when we have tornadoes in this area. There are rain reps, so it's almost impossible to see anything. We'll kind of show you some of the areas being affected by this. Coming up at really, I would say, Belmont, North Belmont, and also the town of Belmont, between 1017 and 1021. You folks that live in McAdenville, especially on the east side of McAdenville, be aware that West Cramerton, Mount Holly, Lowell, and towards the community of Smyre, about 10:30. That's kind of your time frame of the movement of the storm, Chris.
Yeah, and now the official update has this north of Wilkinson Boulevard. So we are actually going to probably see some decreased conditions, some gustier winds about to cross I-85. I think we're about 1 mile away now from across the interstate. I think things are improving, but still, whenever you have this type of signature as far as our velocity scope is, we're going to continue to monitor this. Even when the tornado warning ends, by the way, we're going to be going live here, live streaming on Facebook and other platforms such as YouTube, keeping you ahead of the storm to try to show you what's happening before it happens. Because oftentimes these quickly spin up and they're gone. That's what happened with the first tornado warning that was Catawba County over to Alexander County. Now this one looks to be a little bit more impressive. We will continue to see this throughout the day because we have a low to a moderate tornado threat today. Tomorrow, same thing goes across the area, and we could even see some through the overnight and tomorrow, so keep that in mind. As far as areas that need to be on watch for the time being, it's still south of I-85 that we're still seeing the most significant. Still have that tornado warning. They have not extended it yet. We'll see that officially here in 4 minutes. I think Mount Holly, you still have to be on guard for what we could see here. So it's right here. Yeah, this is actually starting to strengthen a little bit more. We're starting to see the winds pick up. It's directly over Moore's Chapel Road. So as we were mentioning more Sam Wilson Road, it is starting to shift its way further off towards the west. So notice where this has been. You're going to follow that bright red to the green with each other. Notice how it was a little bit brighter south of Berry Hill, and then it started to flatten out. Now it's starting to get a little bit brighter, which really shows this is holding tack, kind of keeping more of a supercell type signature. If we could bring up the camera to Sam Wilson Road, that'd be fantastic. Let's see what's going on over there, because we're very close to this. Yeah, this is the alarming thing. It's really tough to see off into the distance. Our visibilities, I think, are down below a mile. So even if we do see something cross, it's going to be tough to see. I think that there would be enough clearing that you'd be able to see like within a mile if anything is on the horizon. But it's right through the stretch. Look at how busy that we're seeing traffic, and also a cause of concern. Notice traffic here on I-85 is completely stopped. I believe that's heading westbound. So traffic completely stopped. Could be because the storm rolling through, maybe people just slowing down in general. And the most recent update, heading back to the computer, we can now see, I would say in the next minute or so, the center of this, the tornado potential, you can see the most recent update is about to cross 485. All right, let's see. Yep, and we still see some pretty strong winds. It could be a lot stronger. I'm letting you know that. Usually when you have these blaring, bright, almost neon colors, that's where you have a much stronger potential for a tornado, but this definitely has rotation written all over it. So Moore's Chapel Road is where we have the biggest concern for the time being. Charlie Hip Road. Since this is holding together, we also have the Whitewater Center. You're going to be impacted by this, and let's bring up our tool. All right, Whitewater Center could probably expect this, I would say, in the next 5 minutes or so. So if you live around the Whitewater Center, you're going to see that directly west of Moore's Chapel Road is where we're seeing the tighter rotation. It's starting to flatten out again. I mentioned this the last time we had the tornado warning, so you're probably going to be seeing us a lot. So we apologize for cutting into programming, but it's right across that area of green. I have a measurement of about 3 miles. That's a little bit too broad, but you still have the bright colors of the green and the red right against each other. That is going to be really a close watch for this. So I think that if anything is happening, it's really between Sam Wilson Road past Moore's Chapel Road. I'm also going to include Highway 273, so I'd really say between Sam Wilson and Highway 273, that's where we're going to be seeing most of the activity with this. Coming back up to this, looking forward, we have 1 more minute to see if they do extend this tornado warning. Regardless, if we're either here on air, we're going to be going back online to see what they do here. So Larry, it's never good to see a tornado warning, but especially in such a populated area like what we're seeing here. And
no doubt about that.
As Larry's, there it is. Tornado warning officially just expired. Larry and I are going to continue to keep you in the know. We're going to be able to watch couplets like this, any sort of signatures throughout the morning leading up to our midday show. But officially, we are going to send it back to program here live on WCNC Charlotte, but continue to be live here online. Thanks a lot. Be weather aware and stay safe, everybody.